Good morning.
Good morning, my friends. Today is indeed a good day. I can love you and be your friend, even if we think differently, believe differently, act differently, look different, or come from different places in life. You are welcome here. With that in mind, let's get our day started together. Let's slow down together each morning to contemplate valuable precepts and how we might apply these in our thoughts, words, and actions today, and how they might grow into practices, habits, and even ways of life, so that our life's example is rooted firmly in core values that are a benefit to ourselves and to all around us. It's going to be a terrific Thursday, I believe. The sun is out, starting to rear its beautiful head over the horizon. And I know that many of us are preparing to head into work or school or whatever the day holds for us. And we're slowing down just a little bit this morning to consider a precept. And what is a precept? A precept is something that we treasure, that we think is worthy of treasuring, of clinging to. A precept, a treasure, is in some ways something that we would be willing to give other things up in order to cling to. There's this concept of if something is valuable and is truly a treasure to us, then we're willing to sacrifice other things in order to take hold and obtain and hold a treasure. So this morning's treasure is unity. Now we say that word, and it may mean a lot of different things to different people, depending on their perspective, their culture, their education, what life has taught them. So with each of our precepts, I like to dive in. I like to dig in a little bit deeper and nail down what the concept is so that I know what it is that I'm seeking to treasure and grab hold of and make a part of my life. So unity this morning that we're talking about is not just conformity. And Hop, what do you mean by that? Some people might say that to have unity, everyone needs to conform in the same way, right? Or that you have to look like this, talk like this, behave like this in order to be a part of our group or whatever. Well, that is not unity. That is conformity, right? If we're trying to create a cookie cutter situation, then that's probably not unity. Unity has diversity to it. Unity doesn't mean that everyone should be the same part, right? But they are part of a oneness, right? Unity is a condition of harmony between diverse parts or units, or let's think about the body, right? It's an easy thing to consider. If a body is healthy, then all of the things are working together for a unified, a one direction, a harmony of purpose. If the body is unhealthy, then there are things that are diseased in that body that are working against the body. That would not be unity, right? But it isn't that every cell has to be the same. In fact, it can't be. If every cell was the same, you wouldn't have a body. So it's not about conformity, right? The hand still needs to be a hand, a foot, the fingernail, a fingernail. Each thing has its purpose. But when all of these things are working together in a oneness and a harmony together, that is the type of unity that we're talking about. I like this story, and I wanted to share it with you. A family had several children that were always arguing. The parents had read all of the self-help parenting guides and tried talking to them, disciplining them, offering rewards for good behavior, etc., but nothing seemed to do any good. One day, when the quarreling had become much more raucous and violent than usual, each child was moping and grumbling afterwards. The parents sent them outside to do yard work and get them out of the house. They told them to first gather up all of the sticks out of the yard and to cut the grass so the parents could have some peace and quiet inside the house to consider how they might address this growing problem. After talking together for a while inside, the parents came and joined them in the work. When all of the work was completed, the parents asked the children to bring a bundle of sticks and a bag full of grass clippings to them. The parents pointed out across the yard at the fresh-cut grass and how nice and clean it looked. They pointed to it and said, "Look at this grass and how precisely it's been cut to the same height. This is conformity. The world is looking for conformity because it makes everyone appear exactly the same. But look at the grass clippings in your hands and how each one is a different size. We can see that each blade of grass is actually different. Look at how each plant was cut down for the sake of giving an impression of conformity. But each blade of grass truly is unique." The parents then looked out across the road to a farmer's field, where the grass and wildflowers had grown tall and were blowing beautifully in the breeze. They pointed to the field and said, "Look at how, in the farmer's field, it's all growing freely, and how each tall blade of grass and each wildflower is unique when allowed to grow to its full potential. And when the farmer will come out and cut and bale this for hay, it'll be used to feed his animals during the cold months, while our grass clippings will rot into the ground or into the compost pile. We don't have to cut down the grass and make it all the same for it to be useful." The parents then asked for the bundle of sticks. They each grabbed a single stick and demonstrated that they could easily break it in their hands. They each grabbed 2 sticks and crushed them hard against each other in their hands to show that both sticks broke. They then told everyone to grab a stick of their own. They bundled all of the sticks together, representing the family, and asked if they thought the bundle was stronger together or apart, and received knowing nods of acknowledgement. They then walked through the yard to the beautiful live oak that was planted by a fresh stream that flowed through their property. They asked their children, "These sticks have fallen away from the trees because they are dead. But look at many strong branches growing out of this tree that is firmly rooted in the ground. And look at the trees and animals all around that benefit from it. We could drive over that bundle of dead sticks and crush it with our family car. But even our largest tractor may not be able to push over this grand old oak that is alive and firmly rooted. And see how all of the trees around it form a forest above and intertwining roots below that ensure that even the winds and the lightning and the snow and the ice can't level this forest to the ground. Only a team of men with chainsaws and machinery looking to cut it all down might have a chance of putting this forest at risk of disappearing forever." Can we hear the message? These parents are trying to teach their children the difference between conformity and unity and harmony. The sticks do not have to be all the same. They don't have to be cut all the way. In fact, the sticks are not the goal. The sticks are dead. They're separated from the tree. Our goal isn't to be grass clippings. Our goal isn't to be sticks. Our goal is to be part of that forest of live oaks with roots going down, with a canopy growing high. And we live intertwined with those around us, benefiting each other and watching over each other and having a unity. All of the trees and don't even have to be the same type of tree. In fact, we learn in a forest there's great benefit in having different trees that bear different kinds of leaves and fruit and different canopy heights, that they all work together in this beautiful tapestry to benefit each other. And this is how our life should be. Our goal is not to cut each other down, to expect others to be like us or to fit our mold. We do better to appreciate the uniqueness, the wonder and beauty and value in each and every person around us. And only when we seek to cut each other down do we put the forest at risk. Unity. Unity relies on togetherness, not conformity. Unity is about the bond of the relationship, not the conformity of the appearance. We can think about unity as a combination or a gathering or ordering of the parts that make up a whole. And it should promote a consistent and undivided effect together as a total, right? This is what unity looks like. Unity does not look like a cookie cutter of identical pieces stacked. Unity looks more like a beautiful piece of music. Imagine a piece of music that only had the same identical note repeated at the same beat and timing and volume. I can't think of many people that would consider that a beautiful piece of music. But when you put together different beats and timing and notes and dynamics and different instruments and effects, and all of these come together to build a wonderful and captivating song or composition or piece of music. It's so much greater than the one component or note or even a bunch of conformed notes stacked together. We have to understand that, right? Or a mosaic or a tapestry or a piece of artwork. Think about artwork. If a piece of artwork was just a single canvas with no texture, with no color, with no difference in lighting, would anyone honestly and truly see that as the same type of beautiful artistry as someone that takes different paints and colors and textures and styles and applies them in wonderful contrasts and techniques and styles to reveal something wonderful, right? We know that it's a painting, a wonderful painting, is more grand than in individual components. The Mona Lisa is more grand than one of the paints that its artist would have had on his palette, right? It's the same with people. A great team of people has varied talents and cultural differences and different perspectives. And they come together to produce a better solution than if everybody just had the same conformed ideas. They produce better than one would have produced alone. I know this in my workplace. We have several of us that work closely together. Practically every single day, we're in a room together, working together on projects and deliverables and creative ideas and innovations. And each of us has very different strengths and weaknesses. Each of us brings a different perspective. Some of us may be the visionaries that see the grand idea, but we may not know the strategy that is necessary to put it together and have it succeed. We may not be the person who has the drive and the drive to execute and take the risk that is necessary and is willing to fail enough times to reach the success. We may not have individually the skills to explain and communicate and gather the people up around an idea or something new and train them and give them a comfort and an understanding of the vision and the direction so that they know how to participate and to take ownership in it and to support that idea rather than resist change. You see, there's all kinds of different skills and talents and abilities that need to come together when we're talking about a group or a community or an organization to bring us to the greatest success. If we just had a room full of people with visions, but they had no idea of how to bring them into action or put them in place or collect others and communicate that common vision to others in a way that is accessible and that inspires, then you're not going to get very far beyond dreaming. If you just had the strategy people that can see all of the possible pitfalls, you may never take a first step because they may be too scared to take any risk. They may not be able to come up with a grand idea and vision of a direction. They may just tinker away and chip away at what exists today rather than realizing sometimes you need a green field. See, we need each other, but we do need unity. We need a togetherness that puts us in a one direction, in a healthy, gathered direction. So this is unity. Unity, our valuing unity, has a lot to do with valuing others. If we do not see and appreciate the strengths in others, how will we find unity? If we don't appreciate the strengths in others, we are probably going to lean towards conformity and think that everybody should think like we do and try and cut off their edges and make them conform to how we think it should be and how we think it should be done. And that is not that is not usually what will produce the best long-term outcomes. So, unity. What's interesting in business is that businesses and objectives that are focused on very short term, sometimes in the short term, they may sacrifice unity for conformity, because there is, it's pretty easy to prove certain situations where conformity might work in the moment, right? Just force it in there. But if we're looking at the long term, unity will always win out over conformity. If we're playing an infinite game, Simon Sinek likes to compare finite gaming methodology, especially in leadership, compared to infinite gaming methodology. And unity, for me, is a treasure. Conformity can be a danger. Conformity and seeing the dangers of conformity make me value unity even more. So, what will we do today? What will a unified approach be to our day? I think we should start out by learning to recognize and value those around us, especially those that have differing viewpoints or perspectives or cultures. We don't have to be afraid of someone that is different from us. We don't have to oppose them like an enemy just because they are different. We don't have to defeat them and crush them because they're not like us. We don't have to seek conformity. We can find unity together. My friends, I hope you have a wonderful day. I'm excited for what the day holds. Had several people reach out yesterday, and that was a special treat. And just thinking about the situations they shared, their life situations so different than mine at the moment, but the love that was shared back and forth, the encouragement that was shared back and forth, the genuine appreciation for each other was really, really a treasure. And that's what I want all of us. I want to experience each day. I want to see that unity. I want to see these precepts growing up inside of us, right? And bearing that fruit of a different kind of life. I can't force the growth. What's amazing about seed is we don't plant it on a Monday and walk outside on Tuesday and expect the fruit to be there. These precepts that I'm chewing on and studying each day, I'm not going to walk out today and be perfect in my unity. There's always room for growth. But if I take just one little step, let's say we look at unity and we go, gosh, I am horrible at that. That was me talking about hospitality earlier this week. I'm not very good at that, right? But all I have to do is choose right now to take one step towards it. One step towards unity. Even if we've been divisive, even if we've been one who loves to debate and to cut others down to prove out that we're right, to choose unity. even with one little step. And then we just rinse and repeat. Over time, we will grow up. If we choose to value these things, our life will be changed. It may take decades. It may happen quicker than that. But it will help each of us. Imagine a world where we don't cut each other down, where we don't demand that everyone fit into our mold. It's a beautiful place indeed. Hope you have a wonderful day, and look forward to seeing and talking to you again soon. And have a great day.